and welcome back to Beyond the Words with me, your host, Dimple. Today's episode is an expansion about the masculine and feminine energies. What do I mean? So I did an episode about how both my husband and I were out of kilt when it came to our masculine and feminine energy. I was too much in my masculine, he was too much in his feminine, and how we ended up depolarizing, demasculating, and then recovering from that, right? So I want to expand this conversation now, having now experienced my third decade of marriage and this awareness of masculine and feminine energies. Something that's come really apparent to me that I'm experiencing in our relationship now is an extension of the masculine and feminine energies. So let me explain and recap a little bit about the masculine and feminine energies. For those of you who didn't see the episode, you can go back and get more depth. I just want to do a summary first, and then I'll go on to the evolution of that work, right? And the basics around masculine and feminine energy are, and where our relationships go wrong is when we're out of balance. So we're out of balance with ourselves. So I was operating too much in my masculine for me, and he was operating too much in his feminine for him. And we were causing demasculation, right? And in order to get the polarity back, we had to get into our authentic balance for ourselves first and then for the relationship. And that is in order to get back on an even keel, right? In order to restore and repair the relationship, the marriage, right? So that's what happened in our first and second decade. What we're experiencing now in our third decade is the evolution of it. So this is really for those of you who aren't at the stage of your marriage needing repair. This is for expansion work. This is for next level, like going from a mediocre marriage relationship to an extraordinary one, right? And this work has really come to light for me through one of my beautiful mentors, Melanie and Leah, who has supported me for years on this. And her husband, her partner as well, Kevin Scott. Incredible people. Kevin actually was a guest on one of my podcasts, so go back, check that out. What has come to light for me with this is that not only did I need to readdress the balance to repair the marriage, but now that the marriage is repaired, in order to expand it, I need to invite the flow of the masculine and feminine energies in our marriage. What do I mean by that? For a long time, I felt he should lead in all the romance. He should lead in everything. The masculine, right? And he didn't feel that. And when he did all the time, I felt like I didn't have a say, right? Have you ever had that, ladies, where suddenly they're taking over and they're doing everything and it's all great, but you want to have an opinion and you want to say as well, right? And so we had this flip-flopping of a bit of argy-bargy where he would lead in an area and I would follow, but there was a weird energy with it because he was doing it because I said I wanted him to lead, and I was following because I'd said I want him to lead more in this area. But there wasn't really a authenticity around that energy, right? It was very much a pleasing energy. And what I've come to realize over the past, I would say, 18 months, 2 years, and what I've really embodied in this time is that in every mature relationship, there is a flow of masculine and feminine energy. So I'm really good at leading in nurturing the home. I'm really good at and enjoy feeding the family, enjoy cooking, enjoy leading in that area, enjoy finding new adventures that we can go on. And at this moment in time, he has capacity to lead in other areas, like some of the big decisions in our life, some of the movement we have. I also lead in some of the big decisions, like where we're living, and through this beautiful ebb and flow, where sometimes I'm in my masculine and he surrenders in his feminine, and he's in his masculine and I surrender in my feminine. What happens in that exchange is it doesn't make the masculine or feminine wrong or right. What it means is that we complement each other in that moment in time. And so we get the best out of each other. And we also get the most joy, because I like to lead in the cooking. I like to lead in the feeding, right? He likes to lead in the finances. And so I like to be led by him in the finances. He enjoys me making the food for him and those decisions. Is that mothering energy? So mothering energy would be very much in the masculine, but in the I told you so and you do what I say, little boy kind of mother him energy. No, because the frequency in which I'm doing it is from a place of I love it, not from a place of he needs it. It's the same outcome, but it's a completely different frequency, right? The outcome is the same. We still have a beautiful meal. I've created that meal. We still have great finances. He's led on that. But he's not doing it because I've told him he has to. He's doing it because that's his forte. That's what he's good at. Right? Are there moments where he's cooked me a meal and led on it? Of course there are. Of course there are moments like that, and I love it. But it's done from a place of authenticity. It's done from a place of truth rather than pleasing. And in the same way with the finances, I've created investments that I felt were good investments. He's allowed me to lead on that. And when I say he's allowed me to lead on that, what I mean is that that's his area, right? So yes, there's an allowance there. Just like my area is the cooking, and he cooked for me, there's an allowance. I allowed him to lead in that. So this conversation is less so now about being in my feminine all the time and him being in his masculine all the time, and more so about us understanding where each other is and allowing each other to be in their natural flow and then complementing that, right? There's a different level of maturity. There's a different je ne sais quoi about this. Because it means that nobody's wrong or right. It means that we develop a rhythm for our relationship. We develop a flow for our relationship. And it can flow depending on the environment, the day, the mood, who needs supporting, who doesn't need supporting, who needs to be the supporter. Right? And yes, a lot of the time, it's 50-50 in our relationship. Because we actually like that. It doesn't have to be where he leads everywhere. This notion that I had of him being the king and having to lead, and what happened there was he became less and less in touch with his feelings, and I felt disconnected. Being in touch with your feelings as a man, being in your feminine flow, his spontaneity is feminine. His surprises are feminine. How he implements is masculine. Right? So it's almost like moving away from the masculine and feminine model is great to understand repair. It's a really brilliant model to understand repair. And as we go into a mature relationship, we start to understand flow. We start to understand utilizing each other's strengths and supporting each other in that. So we get such a strong body of relationship where nobody's wrong, nobody's right. Therefore, there's no guilt or shame. Therefore, there's no correction. And we get to laugh in it because, frankly, it's funny when he cooks. And it's funny when I suggest some finance thing, right? It's funny. And we also get to cherish and receive. Because in the ebb and flow of the relationship, both of you get to give and receive in a different way. Men do it differently to women. Women do it differently to men. So this beautiful podcast is here to share with you it's okay for your man to be in his feminine. It's okay for your woman to be in her masculine. The truth is it working for the greater good of the relationship? Are you both moving in the same direction? Does it feel good? If it feels good, it's right. If it feels off, it's off. Redirect. So, my loves, thank you for hearing this expansion on the masculine and feminine. I so appreciate your time, your energy, your efforts. Take care. Let me know how you get on actually in the comments. I would love to hear how you feel about this. Any questions or anything like that. It's a really big topic. But you have to work through it to know what it feels like and the difference, right? Because so many women come to me and say, I need to be more in my feminine. I need to be more. Love your masculine first. Love it for what it's provided for you. My man's not masculine enough, he's too feminine. Love his feminine side first. It's the part that helps you connect with him because he's in touch with his feelings. Nothing wrong with that. It's actually a really mature man that can do that. It's a really mature woman that can lead and get things done in a feminine way. Right? I love you all so much. It's been an absolute honour and privilege. Take care. God bless.